Being overprotective of your iman, of your faith, is never a bad thing. You can never be too overprotective of your iman or guard it too much, because you've got to stay stationed. It's one of the beautiful things about Umar bin Khattab radiallahu ta'ala anhu, that Umar radiallahu anhu was always ready to be reminded. Shaitan couldn't get on his street. He couldn't even be a neighbor of Umar radiallahu anhu, because as soon as someone said, ittaqillah, fear Allah, to that giant, then he started to cry like a child. He was there. He was ready to be reminded at all times, and ready to push himself at all times, and saw himself in ways that other people did not see him. Umar radiallahu anhu paid attention to himself, focused on his shortcomings, and spent his entire life trying to overcome those shortcomings. And if I've overcome 9 shortcomings out of 10, I've still got one more that I don't want to meet Allah with. So I'm going to work at this one. I'm not going to say, well, at least I've got the other 9 going for me. No, I've got to work. And I've got to make sure that I'm pushing myself further. I don't care if other people think I've arrived. I don't care if the voice inside of me says, you're there, you've arrived. Because until that last moment, and that's the point of Imam Ahmad rahimahullah, and I know many of you have heard this story a million times. Every time I hear it, I think of a different fa'idah from it, subhanAllah, a different thing to benefit from it of. That when Imam Ahmad was passing away, and his son was telling him, say, La ilaha illallah, and he kept on saying, La laysa ba'd, no, not yet, as he's going in and out of his consciousness. And his son told him, why did you say that? When I'm telling you, say, La ilaha illallah, there's no God but Allah, and you're saying, no, not yet. And he told him that I saw Shaitan projecting himself to me in the form of a humiliated man, saying that I've never been able to get you. Oh Ahmad, I've never been able to get you. You've escaped from me. You've escaped, it's over. I lose, you win, I concede. And Imam Ahmad saying, no, not yet, not till I die. This battle continues until that last breath. Until that last breath, then I will not stop being on guard against you and how you are trying to penetrate that fortress. We learned a lot about some of the du'as of the Prophet ﷺ. What was the most frequent du'a of the Prophet ﷺ? Ya muqallib al-qulub, thabbit qalbi ala dinik. If you think about the Prophet ﷺ, and I'll translate it, he reached the position that none of us would ever reach, that no man has ever reached in terms of righteousness. But even he, his most frequent prayer was, Ya muqallib al-qulub, thabbit qalbi ala dinik. O turner of hearts, make my heart firm on your path. Even the Prophet ﷺ is still making dua for the preservation of his faith and the preservation of his righteousness, and not taking it for granted. If the Prophet of Allah ﷺ not sometimes makes that dua, always makes that dua, to a point that his wife says that's the most frequent dua, what does that tell you about his character and his pursuits? It keeps you humble. It keeps you determined. It keeps you vigilant. You don't make assumptions. You see other people commit major sins, and you don't know that you might not die until you commit that same major sin. So you don't taunt that person. You make dua for Allah to forgive them and to keep them firm, because you want the same thing for yourself. You're afraid that you might fall to that.